Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so the Los Angeles Lakers dropped another game on the road in San Antonio, 117-110. And, looking at the box score, I did get a chance to watch the game for the most part, even though I missed some key moments, particularly the beginning of the third quarter and the end of the second quarter. So that little range there I missed, and a lot probably happened there because the score swapped quite a bit. But all in all, you saw a lot of good effort. Carmelo Mutombo is what I'm calling him tonight, because he's just blocking shots every night. His defense has really stepped up in a huge way over these last two games. I don't know what's gotten into him, but he's sitting in a chair, he's doing what he's got to do, and like I said, the shots are being blocked. Carmelo Mutombo, real talk. He's acting up out there. I like what I saw out of Stanley Johnson in the spurts that I saw him play. He really did well, even though the shot wasn't falling. He was active. I tell you, THT was who really popped off the screen tonight for us. He was doing some fantastic penetrating tonight. You know, he was getting straight into the teeth of the defense, getting to the, trying to get to the line. We'll talk about that. But he was laying the ball up really well, making quick, decisive motions to the basket. And he was helpful. You know, I really like what I saw out of him in terms of that. Just slicing straight to the bucket. He's getting faster. He's getting stronger. And his confidence is growing. So, yeah, the progression that I want to see, I'm seeing. They're giving him minutes. And that aspect of the game I was very happy with. Austin Reeves played well when he was played. Unfortunately, Coach set him too much in that fourth quarter. But Austin played well. He gave us what we needed to see from him. Rebounding the ball, doing all the scrappy stuff that he does, man. Just being everywhere, playing defense. Even though he was getting cooked out there defensively, it wasn't because he was misreading. The guys were just taller and bigger than him. But it wasn't because he wasn't out there doing his part. He was definitely giving us effort. Malik Monk was doing fantastic in terms of effort as well. He spent a majority of his night frustrated with the referees, like myself. Again, we'll get into it, but it was a lot to be said for how fouls were called, how the game was officiated, that whole thing. The name of the game for tonight was the officiating, honestly. And you know me, if you watch me a lot, I don't talk too much about the officiating. I look inward, I look at the opponent. I don't care for the officials too much. I believe that games have been fixed since the beginning of time. I also believe that athletes have nothing to do with it 99% of the time. And I just don't feel like it can really be something that holds a lot of credibility. It's just hearsay. It's conspiracy stuff. It's nothing to prove. But I can tell you this. The officiating tonight was a little off tonight. I'll say that much. It was leaning toward the San Antonio Spurs quite a bit. There were a lot of calls that I thought were questionable that were called against us, and a lot of fouls that I thought should have been called for us that just were not whistled. A lot of fouls that stopped the momentum. A lot of fouls that, just kind of put the ball in San Antonio's hands in key areas. I just felt like it was compromised tonight, and that's just only the second time I've said that this year for a Laker game. But yeah, tonight was one of them nights. If I'm looking into basketball games and saying, wow, which games are just weird officiating, subtle but strange, tonight was one of those. Subtle but strange. The thing about it, though, both teams shot poorly from the line. San Antonio shot very poorly at 50-something%, and we shot only a little better than that at 60-something%. So it didn't really make the difference that you would expect it to make from a score standpoint. But what it did do, like I said, is create a whole lot of opportunities for stoppage of play. Obviously put the ball in San Antonio's hands quite a bit. Took our guys off the floor, put us in foul trouble, stuff like that. So I was not pleased with how that turned out for us. DeJounte Murray was excellent tonight as expected. I think he had 26 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, if my memory serves me correct. 18 and 8 for Jakob Poeltl, who was a center out there amongst just guards and forwards. So you know how that goes. What else? Romeo Langford saw some play tonight, had a good plus minus. Josh Primo had about 26 minutes, had a pretty solid plus minus. Who else? Doug McDermott hit some big shots, did some good things for his team. You know, Lawndale, Keldon Johnson. Really, San Antonio, they just play very well, man. They had 5 players in double figures, all of their starters. And as did we, the Lakers also. Um, you just want to first show appreciation to the fact that the Lakers are giving some more attention to the youth movement. I think we're giving ourselves a bit more wiggle room to just let those kids grow. And I just wish we would have done that all season long, really, to be honest. And I think we're going to be better for it. Malik Monk, THT, Austin Reeves, Stanley Johnson, all got some good minutes tonight. I think Avery Bradley looked pretty solid tonight. Avery Bradley played some solid minutes, particularly in the third quarter where he finally hit a corner 3-point shot. Now, if you guys have been listening to me, I've been complaining about how he ain't been able to hit that shot seemingly at all this year, but it fell for him tonight. And I just think that, like I always say, when guys come back from injury, sometimes it forces them to condition differently. It forces them to kind of be more active with their downtime and stuff like that. And I just feel like Avery Bradley comes back from that injury fresh. He looked fresher right now than he did beforehand. So, rarely do I say this, but I actually like what I saw from him for the most part. Let's see. Russell Westbrook had a good game in terms of his plus minus because he rebounded the ball very well and was really active tonight. I thought he didn't get the calls that he deserves, slicing into the lane a lot of the time. And then I have to get to the truth. The truth of the matter is, I think a lot of what went wrong was just us allowing him to be himself down the fourth quarter. I really thought that he should have been benched tonight in the fourth. And see, sometimes it's like Frank Vogel ain't going to do that by feel. He's going to do that by plan or whatever. I don't really know what his structure is. But, like, for me, feel of the game, it told me this is the night you bench Russell Westbrook in the fourth. This is the night you do that. Not the night when he was playing well when we actually did it, but on a night like tonight when he's really hurting his team in the fourth quarter. This was the night to bench him. You play Austin Reeves, you let him sit. We did the opposite, and it hurt us. Some of the forced layups that weren't being called, he missed those. Those weren't being rebounded. You saw situations where he was getting the ball stolen from him. You saw situations where he turned the ball over off his foot. You just understand that he's going to take momentum from his team. There was a sequence where Carmelo Anthony had done something right. I don't know what it was. He hit a shot or something. Layups, 3-point play. It was something. But immediately Russell Westbrook had to go down court. He just had to do something for himself. And of course, it didn't work out. Laid the ball up and missed it. These are the type of things that just make you understand that, he really, truly was a detriment to his team tonight. Even though the plus minus would tell you otherwise, his stats were fine. If you look at from play to play throughout that fourth quarter, from play to play, it really came down to him messing up and a couple key fouls that really just spread the game out from like a 4-point deficit to an 8-point deficit, and we never actually brought it close enough to win it after that. I credit San Antonio. They hit some big shots, did some things they needed to do, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I just really saw a lot go wrong in 3 key areas. Officiating, Westbrook, and then there's Vogel. And I don't really have to tell you all that went wrong with Vogel. His rotations were terrible. I'm sure you know that. He didn't play a center a majority of the time. I'm sure you know that. We got out-rebounded in key areas. And see, if you look at the rebounding differential, you'll see that we got out-rebounded, but it wasn't about that. It was about which rebounds you missed. I always say that. With the Lakers, those small ball guys, they really do rebound the ball fairly well for themselves, given the circumstances they're put in consistently. We do find ourselves not getting blown out on the boards night in and night out, despite having such big differentials. Yes, we lose on the boards, but we don't get blown out, if that makes any sense. So I'm not mad at how the guys try to attack the boards. Russell attacks the boards. Austin Reeves attacks the boards. Stanley Johnson attacks the boards. Melo attacks the boards. So they do their job within the circumstances they're given. But it's the ones they need. It's the ones at the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter that they end up giving up an offensive rebound for a second chance option for the other team, or give up a defensive rebound where we really, really, really needed to seal that rebound off a missed free throw for ourselves. Like, these are the type of rebounds that we just don't get. And whether you win the rebound or total or not, you need to get the ones that matter. And I don't think enough of an emphasis has been placed on that for our team this season. And we found ourselves missing out on the boards that matter yet again tonight. So that was something that really, really frustrated the hell out of me. Frank's rotations and his small ball stuff with Carmelo at the 5. You know, you saw situations where he had a lineup out there. It was DJ Augustine, Russell Westbrook, Avery Bradley, I think it was THT, and I believe he might have had Malik Monk out there. It's like 4 guards and a Melo or something, or THT. You know, he got away with something like that in the last game. He tried it in the third quarter, and, you know, the other team just couldn't score, so it didn't hurt us. Tonight, he tried that stuff, and it did exactly what it's supposed to do, which is hurt you. You can't win with a lineup like that, man. Like, are you serious? Russell Westbrook, Avery Bradley, and DJ Augustine. All 3 of them dudes are just a little taller than me, and I'm 5'10", fam. I'm not tall at all. Them guys are just a little taller than me. And you're going up against some real guys down there. Now, granted, Jakob Poeltl was off the floor, but if I'm not mistaken, they had Lawndale on the floor. You know, Keldon Johnson was out there. Like, they had guys who, even though you could run small ball, you're still not matching up properly if you got 3 shooting guards out there and 1 point guard out there. Like, just a very, very, very bad night for Frank Vogel, who just continues to show himself to be an incompetent person in terms of rotations. He's not good at it. He's just like Luke Walton. Just like him. I can't figure out who's worse. They're both the same. They both play people out of positions. They both don't match up well. They both want to switch things, and when they don't have defensive players for that in situations. Like, this is just a repeat of the same thing we dealt with Luke. And, you know, tonight's not a unique night. It's just, unfortunately, yet another one. You know, as I always say, it's like trying to drink out of a ladle. It's like sipping through a straw with holes through it. I don't care how much effort you put into it. You're still not going to get nothing out of it because you're going to be having those holes. And the holes for our team is at the center position. The holes for our team is at the defensive side of the ball. The holes for our team is athleticism and getting out in transition, helping our young players, whom are doing their best, but really need help from the vets. You know, a lot of what went wrong tonight were veterans messing up. Like, I hate to say it, but you would have long sequences where kids would be playing good, and then a veteran gets a foul call, or a veteran gives up a bad blow by, or a veteran takes a bad shot and it misses. Like, you know, I can't stress this enough. And it's in respect to those veterans because they're playing hard. It's not like they're, you know, they suck or anything, but I just don't need that. You know, if I want to see mistakes made, I want the youngsters to make those mistakes for the same reasons we've been talking about on this channel for weeks. It's because it's going to be better for us to raise our trade value if the young players get better. We can raise all of their value and ultimately get something out of nothing. That's what it's all about. Avery Bradley shooting can't help me, man. Russell Westbrook missing layups don't help me, man. Like, none of those things help me. You know, Kent Bazemore, I like what I seen from him, but he can't help me. You know, I can't trade him for nothing. Trevor Reeves, can't trade him. Like, so for me, I would just like to see the Los Angeles Lakers continue on the path that they're starting to be on, which is play the youngsters and get some more in here. Get some more in here so that we can erase all of those guys' minutes entirely and have only youngsters on this team. That's what we need. It's only a couple games left. You know what I mean? We know how this goes. We do this. We've done this recently. Like, you put a bunch of youngsters on the team, you just let them rock out. You know, a bunch of guys you ain't never heard of. Let them rock out. We do this every year when we suck. I just think that some guys are still a little bit in denial about where we're headed. They see the mathematical equation in terms of us not being out of the playoffs mathematically, and they think that they want to have one foot in and one foot out as it pertains to what they need to do here, and I just don't think you do that. First of all, the most important reason why is because if you play the youngsters, you actually give yourself a better chance of winning. I mean, like, that's exactly what this whole conversation is about. The veterans messing up. It's not like they're giving you a better chance to win. They don't. They are actually a detriment to what it is that you do. You need youthful legs and athleticism and energy. So what I'm saying actually gives you a better chance of getting there, if I'm being real. So it's like, I don't know. Tonight was a winnable game if we had a center on the floor, I think. Coach doesn't like playing Dwight Howard, even though he loves vets. So, and then for some reason, Jeannie hasn't raised all hell as it pertains to us rostering a center behind Dwight Howard, which I really don't understand. I don't understand why we only have one center on our roster, you guys. Like, that part has not been given enough of an emphasis on this channel. We talk about not playing a center, but the fact that we only have one center, that's a huge problem. Like, I want to say it's a fireable offense, to be honest, as it pertains to our GM. That's almost fireable, dude, honestly. And I know we want to go small ball, but to see us go through the process that we've gone through with these issues running small ball, and to not see the fruit in at least giving Frank another center to sit all the time. I mean, if nothing else, just have another one there. We don't have another one. I just think that is just, when you talk about things that you don't have an excuse for, that is definitely at the top of the list. That's at the top of the list. There's nothing keeping us from signing a Willie Cauley-Stein or a Moses Brown. Nothing at all. That's not a LeBron thing. That's not a Genie thing. That's not a nobody thing. That's an incompetent general manager thing. And I'm going to tell you, my patience as it pertains to Rob Pelinka has run very thin, considering that single point. Nothing else at all. Just that single thing right there is enough for me to be completely and utterly frustrated there. So we got some things that we need to discuss in regards to Rob, and we will talk about them. But as far as the Lakers tonight, again, 117-170, San Antonio gets the win. DeJounte Murray did his job. San Antonio Spurs took advantage of a short team, old guys making mistakes. And the three things that I said: officiating, Westbrook, and our small ball Frank Vogel issue. That is what contributed to our loss tonight, Big emphasis on those officials, though. I gotta say, man, this is one of them games. If I'm the NBA, I just say, you know what? Yeah, this is gonna take the film on this one. We're just gonna study that one. We're gonna study that one. There was a lot of questionable fouls, and the timing of those fouls were even more so questionable, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about that particular thing. I think, all in all, you just wish that the players' effort would amount to more success. And you wish that they would just give them a center. Because I know that's what's missing. I know that. I know it. Our guards don't suck as bad as they look. It's just some of that stuff needs to be rebounded. Some of those missed layups need to be rebounded. Some of those situations where they jump into the air and have nowhere to pass. A lot of those situations get erased by big men just being there to catch the ball in those situations. A lot of the stuff that we run into just comes from us not having good screen setters. Just big bodies just not being on the floor, and how much of a disadvantage that leaves you at. It's such an abomination how we've disrespected size this season. How we've disrespected what the protocol would bring to the table, and how important it was to have depth. We disrespected youth and the importance of having young legs this year. There's so many different things that we just said, nope, we're going to defy all that. And I just don't understand why. I don't. And anybody that's listening to me, when they're saying, oh, you got to respect that Bron is the best player and you got to do anything to keep him, Somebody help me understand why I got so many problems while Bron is on this team. You listen to me for the last 20 minutes with all that I've said, and just understand that LeBron James is leading this basketball club. And I'm supposed to just be gung-ho about going forward with him because he can put up some really dope stats every night and has done some amazing things in this league up to this point, including bringing me a championship, for which I'm thankful for. But not as thankful as I am frustrated, to be completely honest. This is frustrating, man, and it's almost like we gotta, we're being disrespectful if we say we're not pleased with the results of these circumstances. And I reject that notion. I think I have a right to say this is unacceptable, and the people who caused this conundrum need to go. If it were anybody else under any other circumstances, we would be calling for them to get the hell out of here. I remember when Jim Buss ruined the hell out of this franchise. We couldn't wait to call for his head. Luke Walton, we couldn't wait to get rid of him. Byron Scott, we couldn't wait to get rid of him. Anybody that's ever made us feel like we were not getting what we were supposed to get from them, it has never been a problem for us to say, nah, they shouldn't be here. Until now. I'm having a hard time with that one. I am. I'm having a hard time with that one. I respect LeBron. He's family because he's won a championship. But all of this is on his watch. All of it. And I just look at him, I look at Jeannie, and I'm frustrated. I want both of them to get their stuff together. And that's what it is, man. If pieces got to get moved around so we can have a good product on the floor, then that's what needs to happen, man. I don't care who it is. I respect Bron, but he's 37, man. He ain't a spring chicken. He ain't going to be doing this forever. I just am tired of seeing what I saw tonight. It's unacceptable, y'all. Anyway, I've run out of time here. Lakers got another game coming up very soon. We'll be checking back with y'all on that. Game ball goes to DeJounte Murray. Popovich, one of the greatest coaches ever, period. Got to give Pop his credit. He's got that young team passing the ball around. That young team is going to be something. They're all going to be better individual players as well because he's coaching them. Simply one of the best to ever do it. My name is BDL44. I thank y'all for watching, and I'm out.